Hi, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Conversations with MM. This is Marivir Montebon, and I'm greeting you happy 4th of July. It's the 246th birthday of USA today. So I salute everyone, all the immigrants, past and present, all the leaders who have built the US to be a great nation and still working at it to become much greater, more fairer, more just, more economically better, hopefully. But our times are difficult and very challenging. And today we are going to discuss about something that concerns women and families. It's the issue of the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And with me are two respected women leaders in the media. They're both very good friends of mine. One is a trailblazer. She set up the FilAm.net. FilAm is a print and an online paper, which I think is 12 years old. Right now, Cristina DC Pastor, publisher and writer par excellence, is in Beijing. And she's joining me after her work. And so I welcome you. Hi, Krian. Thanks for
Hi,
joining me.
Marivir. Happy Independence Day to you and to your family.
Thank
And it's good
you.
to be back here on your awesome podcast.
Thank
Cool
you.
show.
Happy to have you. And
Same
also,
to
we have
you.
a wonderful friend again, Krian, a boss nurse at Elmhurst Hospital, and a great writer too. A lovely person inside and out, Miss Lindy Rosales. Hi, Lindy.
Hi, Marvin. Hi, Korean. Happy 4th of
Hi,
July.
Lindy.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh,
I
thank
know
you for having me.
you're doing something going away from New York, huh?
Yeah,
You're
we're just traveling to see some friends in Atlantic City.
nice, nice.
It's good to
And
see all
so,
of you, both of you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
yeah, good to see you, Lindy. So it's good you're out from work today, huh?
Yeah,
Is
it's a
this
holiday, so no work today.
so the Roe versus Wade is about a case which was being won by Jane Roe. Her real name is Norma McCurvey. This was in 1973 that the Supreme Court ruled to her favor. She was questioning the Dallas district attorney who denied her access to terminate her pregnancy, her third pregnancy. She, at that time, was divorced, and so she did not want the third child, but because of the back and forth of the case, she gave birth to the child. Now, because of privacy reasons, of course, the child was not named, but it was up. She was up. He was up. I wouldn't know that if it was a girl or a boy. The child was up for adoption, and so years went on, and now this was on June 24 that the Roe versus Wade case was overturned by Supreme Court itself. Now, women and the women's rights advocates, institutions, and other leaders are have a lot to say about this because it is an assault and it is an infringement of the right of the woman to decide on her own body, and it is also a question of public health. So now we will talk about it. What can you say, Lindy? We'll ask Lindy first, Brian, being the boss nurse
Sure.
that she
Yeah,
is.
yeah. When that Supreme Court decision came out, I was in a meeting. We're having a meeting, and I just happened to glance at the phone because the notification came up, and it was really a stunning decision for them to do that. It's like Roe v. Wade has been in place for like 49 years, and for the Supreme Court to overturn 49 years of women's right, it's stunning, and it's gonna affect everybody. It's gonna affect all of us, even if we're not the ones who really is in that boat. So it's a very I don't even have words to describe it, but I'm not of childbearing age, but it's really I mean it will affect all our nieces and even the nephews because they have girlfriends and wives, so it's gonna affect all of us in the years to come.
Agree.
Yeah,
And yes,
like
Christy.
Lindy, I was also shocked when it came out,
Uh-huh.
when the decision came out, because I've always thought, first of all, Roe v. Wade is there, in running in the background. I thought as a decision it was secure. It
Mm-hmm.
was not going to be touched, although there were threats that it was going to be overturned. But I didn't think it was going to happen at this time. So when it came, I was shocked because it was not even being discussed. Um, I personally am against abortion, but I would take exception to when it comes to um, pregnancy threatening a woman's health, and in
Mm-hmm.
cases of rape and incest, I would probably like to see some remedy there. So,
Mm-hmm.
some remedy that has a legal support, like the Supreme Court holding on to it, and the national government making it part of our constitutional rights.
That's right, Krian. And I would remember Dr. LV Barroso, who's a nurse, a professor here at the NYU, and I she was one of the nurses who responded to my question when the decision came out. That she said that women um, stopping this having this overturning Roe versus Wade that will not stop women from seeking abortion. But now it's more risky because they would have to. Um, it means it could be criminalized in a certain state, and they have to go
Mhm.
to another state that allows it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's risky emotionally and it risks her life. And these are all very circumstantial. You cannot have a blanket law that this says no, it cannot be done, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because every situation that a woman undergoes, it would be different. Like
Hmm.
somebody would not want who would want an abortion. For me, that's really horrifying. But there
Yeah,
are reasons when
yeah,
you can't help but do that, other than your life being at risk when you pursue a pregnancy. Perhaps there are, like, you were a victim of rape or incest, so
I think the ruling, the
cannot
Supreme
impose
Court,
this.
yeah, the Supreme Court ruling. Sorry, dear, I
Yeah, go
just
ahead, Priyan.
butted in. um, Allows the states to have their own um, abortion law, their own kind of abortion law,
Yeah, it
Abortion.
gave them the
and
teeth.
it is not a guarantee that all the states will allow it. So again, we have no right over our individual decisions and our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to leave it up to lawmakers, politicians, justices to make those decisions for us. That in itself is so wrong for me.
Correct. And so I also
That is
yes, yes, Lindy, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that is
Yes.
really what struck me the most because they took away the right for the woman to make her own decision. For me, it's not really if I'm pro-abortion or anti-abortion, but I really
Mhm.
believe that this personal, very sensitive decision is up for the women. I mean, it's a very difficult decision to make, and now
Right.
they took that right away from you. So that's what really hit me the most. Like, you no longer have any rights over your own body, and you're the one who's going to live with your decision. So that's really it impacts your life, not only at that point in time, but for many years to come.
I
Mhm.
know. So this is like they're politicizing this issue that has already been in place, and actually it's a
Yeah.
gain for
Mhm.
us women and for families too, because
Yeah.
whatever our life entailed will impact families. So why solve a problem when it why fix something that's not broke? right? But they just did
I,
it. It's a
I
political
don't know if there is a
situation.
political reason behind it because it just happened. It just happened all of a sudden. It was just it's a decision that was thrown on the country. You
It's
know,
a political card.
a lot of Americans are in favor of Roe v. Wade. There was a survey that says that.
It's a
So,
political card,
but
Christina.
yeah, it's so five or four
Mhm.
conservative justices threw
Yeah.
away that decision.
Mhm.
If you remember, three of the justices, I think Justice Gersak, Alito, and I think not Alito. It's three of them: Coney Barrett, Gersak,
Kavanaugh.
and the other
Kavanaugh.
one I forgot. Yeah.
Kavanaugh.
So
Yeah.
these were all Trump appointees during the Trump
Mhm.
administration, and during their confirmation hearings, they were asked that question: would you touch Roe v. Wade? And
Yeah.
surprisingly, all of them said, that thing has been there for a long time. They didn't think it was something that they would touch, and
Mm.
they all turned around and went the other way.
Yes. And also remember, Korean and Lindy, in 1993, the Roe versus Wade was actually first imperiled during that period. The justices wanted to overturn it, and but they stopped. The three conservative justices reasoned out that they would not want to destabilize the judicial system, the justice uh, system of the country, because it is already uh, respected and pretty much there. It's the constitutional right that's being defended of
Mhm.
constitutional rights of women. So they were being collegial, they were being respectful of the
Mm-hmm.
decision of the justices in 1973. But now it's the same reason they subvert themselves, two generations later, the new justices. So it has a lot to do with politics. Now this is so sad because we are being the victims of these political maneuvers, just to win the conservative vote.
That's
So
correct. Yeah.
I wonder if the
I'd
conservatives
like
never
to know
really
if
go through circumstances that there were necessary situations when abortion had to be done, right? So this is so um, it makes me angry. I was really angry when I
yeah, yeah.
looked at my phone and the news came out, and I was on the bus going to Washington D.C. and it was like I said, "What the?" I said, I shouted, and then I was texting
Well,
everyone
I don't know. I
to
don't know
write
what we can
something.
do at this point because I am not really encouraged by Joe Biden's reaction to all this. I wanted to something more forceful. I wanted to see
Yeah,
something more forceful from the point of
right.
view of the executive because
Mhm.
he's the president. He should be able to do something. And
I don't
I don't know what that
It's like a
is.
blank wall. I don't know what happens. Where is the balance of government when the
Yeah.
justices overturns a landmark law? What happens? What will we do? I've been
The
searching on that on Google, but I don't know. I couldn't find any. We have to
the
wait for an election.
Yeah, that's true. I was so disappointed with his decision. What did he say when it came out? Elect something. Elect. He
Yeah,
didn't really.
we wait for elections.
Yeah, he didn't really provide any concrete solutions. I mean, you're the
Yeah,
president. You should
yeah,
come up with something to protect the rights of women. That's like half of the population. You can't just tell
yeah,
them elect the Democrats. Elect doesn't solve the problems now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
in the media, they were showing clinics that as soon as the decision came out, they had women in the waiting room waiting for the procedure, and they had to tell the women, "I'm so sorry,
mm.
the Supreme Court decision just came out, and everything had to stop." So
Oh
the
my
women
God.
were already there, and they couldn't do it, and
Yeah,
they were crying. They were like begging for them to do something. It's
yeah. I,
really,
I'd like to know, Lindy.
Yeah.
Do you
Mhm.
know what's going to happen now to Planned Parenthood clinics? As somebody from the
um,
healthcare sector, any idea?
Uh, in the other states, the clinics close right away. So some states, remember, there were 13 states in the United States that had something what they call trigger laws. As soon as
Oh,
the
yeah.
Supreme Court came down with a decision, all those clinics closed. But in if you're in New York State, New York State is you know, I'm not gonna say pro-abortion, but they are pro-women's rights. So New York State for the because I work in a city hospital for New York State,
Mm-hmm.
um, they're gonna protect women's rights. You can go to any
Yeah.
city hospital clinic, regardless of your insurance,
Mhm.
immigration status, or your
Yeah.
ability to pay. They will assist you, but only if
Mhm.
you're in New York State or New York City. New York
Mhm.
State. So that's a plus for us because we live in New York. But how about for the other
Yeah.
people that have
Yeah.
immediately lost the rights to abortion? So I'm not saying we should encourage them, but it's really a woman's personal decision. How it affects her life, her financial status, or if they because of this, a lot of people have been coming out, like the United. You remember Mary Bassett? I think she's the commissioner of health or something. I'm
Mhm.
so sorry. Yeah, she used to be the CMS administrator, and now she's coming back to New York, I think, as a public official. She had to
Mhm.
come out because she's a doctor, right? She had to come out, and she had to say, when I was a young doctor, I got accepted to a residency in Columbia Presbyterian, which will allow her to practice in Harlem Hospital, but she was
Mhm.
pregnant, and she couldn't really do an abortion and go to medical school at the same time. So she came out and she said, I had an abortion so I could live my life and go to school as a doctor. And now she's not hiding her decision now, and she has two daughters and she's very proud of them. But she said if she didn't have the abortion done, she would not be the person she is today. So
I
Yeah,
that's
remember
again, this is
many
super
many years ago.
circumstantial. Yeah, go ahead, Priya.
There was a Filipino nurse
Mm-hmm.
who refused to perform an abortion. She was in the
oh
news many years ago, about something like 15 years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
think her name is Senisa. So, are there Filipino nurses, Lindy, who feel that way?
yeah, there are a couple
I
of
mean,
them.
who refuse to do it for religious reasons or other
Yes,
reasons?
yes, there are exceptions in healthcare.
Mhm.
Healthcare is a very diverse field, and you are allowed your own decisions. And if you get assigned to like a termination or pregnancy clinic, all you have to do is tell your supervisor that I am against this, and
Mhm.
you tell them what you feel, and that you will be reassigned. You're not going to be
Okay.
terminated. You're going to be
Mhm.
reassigned to another floor, and it has happened. It's
Yeah, that's right.
and they reassign. You get reassigned to another area which you're more comfortable with.
So
Mhm.
they don't kick you out from work.
They don't for
Yeah.
the city hospitals. I'm not sure about the other places, but usually there are people like that, and we respect everybody's wishes. Everybody is entitled to their own
Yeah.
Yeah.
beliefs and cultural opinions, and we
So again, this is
aside.
yeah. Mhm. This is like a case of really a personal situation, case per case. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
that's good. And I would quote Dr. Laura Garcia, who's a teacher, a professor at Mount St. Vincent College of Nursing. She also was giving her point of view about abortion, that it's between the physician and the woman. It's not about the state or the justices, right? So it
Mhm.
has to be dealt with in a very careful and considerate manner, because that is what it's
That's true.
about. And this the Roe versus Wade overturned everything. It's like America going backward,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
You know
it
So
this
went back.
this development, it triggered a lot of abortion stories. I'm reading a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
yes,
it,
did.
like all the
It
women
did.
coming out. I had an abortion at this age. I had an abortion at this age. So it's a floodgate opening. People
yeah. And
coming
my
out with their
friend,
abortion
by the
stories.
way, my
It
friend
can be it can
Susan.
really be widespread. A lot of people are still keeping it to themselves, maybe out of shame for the
Mhm,
family.
mhm.
But there's quite a lot of women who went through it. Yeah.
A very acute case was my friend Krian and Lindy, who
Uh
got
huh.
pregnant. She is on her third year of her third pregnancy, but
Mhm.
it was diagnosed that the pregnancy was tantamount to cancer. There's a specific name to it. And
Mm-hmm.
so the baby had to be the pregnancy had to be terminated because
Mm-hmm.
it will cause her death eventually if the when
Her
it
death. Uh-huh.
so so that was a very careful medical decision.
Sorry.
And you need experts to do that, like real
Yeah.
doctors, not quack doctors,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
who cash in a lot for women, from women who want
that's
abortion, who need abortion.
that's
So
true.
this is a case where you need really the expert medical care that can be
Mm-hmm.
provided by government, as it is
Yeah.
mandated to do so, because it's a public this for me is a public health issue. You can't just moralize this or politicize
Mm-hmm.
this,
That's
right?
true. And then for a woman to make that decision, you need medical guidance, you need medical assistance, somebody to explain the pros and the cons so you can come up to your own decision. So you need
Correct.
real medical experts who have experience with these things. Now if they close all the abortion clinics across the country, who's going to train the next generation of doctors to do these things? Because the future generation to be trained to do these procedures. So if they close everything, who's going to
Mm-hmm.
train the new doctors?
I
And
have
this
a,
You
and these
know?
abortion clinics, they're not really just for abortion. They're there for educational purposes.
like
Young women
reproductive
go
health,
there
right?
asking for, as Lindy mentioned, guidance, asking for help, asking how to prevent pregnancies at an early
Uh huh.
age, asking what you can do as a young woman. You don't want to get pregnant, but there is this guy that wants to something else. So it's not just for terminating pregnancies. It's to educate women, especially women who are just starting you know, to mature. So there is a purpose for these clinics.
I have a
There
question
is a
for you,
purpose.
Lindy.
Uh huh.
Lindy,
Uh
may I
huh.
ask you, like, are all nurses, is it part of your education that you are able to manage this situation, like termination of pregnancy situation? Are
When
nurses?
I was
Mm-hmm.
No, when I was in school a long time ago, it was not part of our curriculum.
Okay.
So yeah, it
So it's
wasn't part
very
of our
specialized.
curriculum. Yeah, because when you're in nursing school, they teach you the basics. They let you practice in all the areas. But
Mm-hmm.
we had to do deliveries, we had to do surgeries. TOP, which is called a termination of pregnancy, is not one of the procedures that I was able to assist. I'm thinking mainly because the Philippines was a Catholic country,
Catholic
so I
country.
only became aware of it. Yeah, so I only became aware of it when I got here, when everybody, went to their own special areas. So that's when you get your training. When you go to the maternal child obstetric GYN, that's when they train you.
Oh, like specific to OBGYN then.
Yeah, for the current curriculum, if they do that, but they teach you everything, and then as you go do your own specialty, that's where you get to know what to do.
Oh, there's a special training only for that procedure.
I
What do you
think
call
I'm not
TOP?
sure, but I think so because this procedure is very specific. It's like when you're a new nurse, right? A new nurse goes to finishes school, and then you go to work in a hospital if that's where they want to go. Then in the hospital they have different areas. So usually, it's either you go to what's available or you say, oh, I want to work in the mother baby unit. So if you
Mm-hmm.
go to the mother baby unit, then you get oriented to everything that they do.
Everything.
So
Yeah.
if you're a medical surgical nurse, you wouldn't know what to do on the mother baby unit. So
I
that's when
see.
they get their training. Yeah. So even nursing itself is very specific. Like if I was a med surg nurse, if they need a nurse in OBGYN, I wouldn't be able to go there because I
I
wouldn't survive. I don't have the skills and the competency to work as a OBGYN nurse. So that's when you get your real life training.
I see. So,
So,
Lindy, what
Yeah.
is your
Lindy, what is your
specialization?
specialty as a nurse?
I'm medical surgical. I was a medical
Ah,
surgical nurse. Yeah, so in medicine you see everything, and then later on I did a lot of other specialties. But I like supervision more. Like you supervise the units, you supervise the hospital, more of
Mm.
administration stuff. It's more,
Yeah.
everybody finds their own niche in nursing. So,
Amazing. So and that's why you are not
yeah.
a boss nurse.
No, no, I'm not a bus nurse. I'm just,
This is
I'm
your
just in a.
trade. That's what you do.
There actually is a lot of bus nurses. It's a lot of levels in nursing. So
Not
there's,
yet, not yet.
yeah, there's buses in every division, every step, every way. It's just that there's so many choices in nursing. You just need to find, your passion. That's the
Yeah.
thing. So it just happened that I'm on the administration side, but you still work in the hospital, which I like working in the hospital. You're up to date, you're current. It's very exciting for me.
That's why sometimes we see you, sometimes we don't see you.
Uh, but not boss nurse. There's a lot of boss nurses. So there's a lot of nurse that works very hard. I see them and I feel what they do, because especially during COVID, life was just difficult.
Mhm.
Even
Yeah.
now, even now, the nurses are still suffering because a lot of people have left. They either retired, resigned, moved out of the state, took another job. So the
So
whole
your population
spectrum.
has decreased, huh?
Yeah, and then everybody have changed. You see a lot of new people. You don't know the people. They're all changing. Everybody is changing. People
So, Lindy,
leaving.
what do the nurses think about Roe v. Wade? This decision of
Roe
Roe
v.
v. Wade.
Wade, I haven't really talked to a lot of them,
Mhm.
so I'm not really sure yet, because it's hard to talk about it, because some people might get offended or some people are not, so it depends. So I would probably have to wait till somebody introduces the topic, because it's a very sensitive
Oh,
issue to
Mhm.
talk about. Yeah.
I'm sure
But
this is going to figure out in my classroom when we open our doctoral studies in September, Christina, because this is part of the social issues that
oh,
actually
okay.
You're
churches
going to be a
and
doctor, Margie?
non-profit organizations talk about. What is it?
Oh,
What is it, Krian?
no, I thought you're going to study to be a doctor.
Not medical.
Ah,
I, thi-
doctoral. Yeah,
I
okay.
think
Yeah,
she's doing that
Doctorate.
now.
Okay.
I
yeah.
think you're doing that now,
I'm
right?
into my middle. I'm 2 years more. I
Oh
don't want
my
to say
gosh.
because it's 1 year is crazy. It's a lot of work. But yeah, I
Oh,
Yeah.
remember my professor, Dr. Andrew Wilson. We touched a little bit on abortion in one of the semesters past, and he's conservative, but he's very compassionate. Like it's not easy for women to make a decision like this
Mhm.
abortion issue. Like you just put her down, like she's immoral, she's godless, and all that because it's
Yeah.
so
I
much
think
between
that's the
between
stigma
life
behind
and
it.
allowing life or disallowing life. And so but he said you have to give the woman a lot of support. You have to
yeah, you
give
have
her
to.
psychological counseling and all the options um, open to her. Eventually, perhaps like he was a pro-life, he didn't want abortion. Said
Mhm.
you can make the woman decide to have the baby um, what you call this adopted instead of
Adopted.
going for abortion, but still the system is there. It is given
Yeah.
before the woman because reproductive health, it's us. We're creating life. We have to be happy, we have to be prepared, right, women? So
That's true.
you can't just say like no, you cannot do this anymore. Like
Mhm.
what? And especially justices, they weren't even elected, they were
Yeah.
appointed by
Yeah,
politicians. So that's really, really it makes me really angry, Christina. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
be not
And to
angry.
think that there's only about four or five of them. Four or five of them deciding the fate of
I think, yeah, I
And the
think,
world
humanity.
is looking
yeah.
at the US, at this reproductive rights
I think,
movement.
yeah, I think six justices went for it and three dissented. Now,
Mhm.
and then they made a big deal because one of the three judges that dissented the decision, they wrote I think it was Justice Sotomayor. He said, with sorrow, that's her party line. With sorrow, we dissent. So even those
Yes.
three justices, it was a horrible decision for them. So
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
really want it, but they got the
They
majority
were
voted for it. So
outnumbered. Well,
yeah,
the
I
good
don't, I don't like
faith.
the Supreme Court anymore.
Yeah, me too. But-
There was a time. There
Speaking
was a
of
time
that,
I would look to them with a lot
yeah,
of respect and a lot
yeah.
of esteem. After
it's
this, never mind.
So that was one of the topics of the talk shows the week it came out, because
Uh,
now people want to know, because the three justices that were appointed by Trump, they something to
Mhm.
the fact that, oh, we can touch Roe v. Wade, it's already embedded, it's already there, but they turned around and voted for it. So now the people want to know,
which is
can can can
unimpeachable
they be
offense,
impeached?
right? Yeah,
Can
it's
they
an
be
impeachable
impeached?
offense.
That's the next
Somebody
question.
has
Yeah,
to
but how can that be
initiate the
impeached?
process.
Uh-huh. But if you really think about it, if the president can be impeached, then anybody can be impeached, right?
Yeah,
Yes, the justices can be impeached,
Uh-huh.
but
So
but
how
the
do you set
Senate,
the
I
process
think, or
in
the entire
motion? Who
Congress will
initiates it?
impeach
that's the
them.
thing, because it's never been done before. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
it's
never
ever been
knew.
done. Yeah. Yeah, remember when you said Korean, when you said, nobody was even talking about it?
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
before they put the decision out, there was a leak. Justice
yeah, I
Clarence
know. There
Thomas
was
did
a
the
leak.
leak. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
the leak set the thing in motion. So
Yeah,
so I didn't understand when they said there was a leak. People started to get ready. I was like, how? In my mind, I was like, no, they can't do it. Cannot be done. But
yeah.
then people
I thought the
started
same thing.
preparing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like,
they were
but
preparing to be in a rally.
they were
Yeah,
preparing to go, and that's when it dawned on me. Oh no, it's a possibility, because in my
yeah,
mind it can be done, but then it turned out it was possible.
yeah.
So
It's
I
also,
that
thought
you
it
know
was
was
what?
secure
There's
because it's
this thing.
almost 50 years,
that's what
you
we
know?
did, because it's always been there. I call it like it's like a safety net for women who need to do
Yeah.
that thing at that time, and now that
Yeah,
safety net is gone. You
Yes, it's
know.
also being politically timed because right now the hearing for the January 6th siege is going on.
Oh,
So it's also a diversionary thing, but which is also as
eh,
big
that's
as
true.
situation on, so it's really a destabilizing situation what's going on right now at the
That could be
capital
true, because
at the capital
that could be
city.
true. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that was a very bad week for the January 6th
So what
hearings.
are we
There's a
going to
lot
do
of
now,
them.
Lindy? What should we do,
Uh,
Lindy?
I don't know. We should. The outlet is very difficult for us as an individual to know what to do, but as for the film community, I'm not really sure. But I think we should let the women know out there that if they need support, we can.
We
You
are here
know,
to
we
support.
are here. Yeah, if they need a ride to go somewhere, I can drive them. If you need to go somewhere, but if you
Yeah,
need to be picked up from the clinic, I'll pick you up.
that's so sweet, Lindy.
Yeah, because
So
if no,
really,
because if you have the procedure, somebody has to pick you up. You can't go home on
yeah,
your own. Yeah,
yeah,
delicate.
yeah,
My God.
yeah.
yeah.
So
So
it,
good thing that New York is very responsible in its
yeah.
social aspect of life.
The, we,
It continues this
yeah,
the
that's true.
program.
Yeah.
We
Yeah. So
actually,
I flashed the picture of Governor who is the first woman governor of New
I'm
York.
actually happy she did that, because you
Yeah.
know what happened in the
You
public
tweeted her, I
hospitals.
remember.
Yeah, in the city hospitals, we already got our memos. They're like, they're expecting an influx of out of state,
Yeah.
women coming to the city. So,
Oh my
but
God.
but with the influx, you might also have protesters coming in there.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they have to
that's
do
right.
you have to do added security, add more, personnel, more frequent rounds in the sensitive areas. It's a lot of logistics to do. You
It's
know,
really America going chaotic and backward, huh? In this
it's
aspect.
it,
Oh God.
it's hard. It's hard to be a young woman in America these days, of reproductive age.
Right, right. Oh my God. Anyway, so any more thoughts, Christina,
I
on
think
Roe v. Wade?
we should take political action against the Supreme Court. Like somebody
Mhm.
should initiate impeachment proceedings and
That
really
I agree
get
with
them
that.
out because they really violated some serious laws there when they said that they're not going to touch certain laws and then they touch them and then they overturn those laws. That was a clear violation. So
Uh,
I'd like to know who that person is going to be, and I'd like to know what the process is. But that should that should be what follows this episode. I
Yes,
think.
I think
I
women's
agree.
group should keep pushing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think we should. I think
I
there should
agree.
be
I
a
agree.
rally in front of the houses of those Supreme Court justices.
Right. Correct.
You know, what can
I
you
agree.
do?
But
What can
it
ordinary
it
people do except use their voices? Really, use
Hmm.
their voices and their feet.
exactly.
We don't have any weapons at our
So
disposal.
Right.
that's true. It's a difficult issue to navigate. And don't forget, at the end of Justice Clarence Thomas, you know, decision, he suggested that we should also look at the other rights, which he thinks is not, you know, protected by the Constitution, like interracial marriage, same-sex marriage. So those things are in danger too now.
Right. Right.
So
Because
Interracial?
it
Did
opens
he
up.
mention interracial? Because he said
yeah, he did. He
interracial
did.
marriage.
He
Oh,
did. He
really?
wrote. He wrote that because remember he said in the writing that there's no constitutional provision for abortion. In the same way, we should also look at what did he say? What did I just say? Same-sex
I
marriage,
think he said same-sex
interracial.
marriage.
Yeah, a couple of I think 3 or 4 issues that he said. So
Uh-huh.
this is if in my mind this might really just be the tip of the iceberg. There's probably
They
gonna
will
be
take
more to
subvert
come.
everything. Yeah.
Because this is like a test case. So who knew? Who even thought that Roe v. Wade could be overturned? So
Right.
now that this was done, the others might be coming. So if the
You know,
people don't,
they're talking about packing the courts with additional members to make it something like 13 or 16,
oh yeah, but
right?
That too is a
So I'm
political
not sure
side
if
of it.
yeah,
Biden is inclined to work on that or not.
he hasn't said anything. He hasn't said
I
anything.
know.
All he says
Yeah.
is go to the polling, go vote, and
Yeah.
elect Democrats. So this is
Yeah.
like the local elections is gonna probably decide a lot of things. So this is gonna
Uh-huh.
be a tough couple of years.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So as we say, it's like freedom isn't free, and if we have freedom, it is our responsibility to defend it all the time. So this is a major, major situation right now that we women and the families, everybody should consider and reflect and take action. It's
That's
difficult,
true.
but I
It's
like your words, Lindy. You are there to help. Thank you. We need that.
yeah. It
And
because
Christina
yeah.
saying that we should look at the consequences of the justices as well for
I
having
like that.
made this decision that's means death to many women. So we have to keep on equipping ourselves with the truth and saying our piece. So I think we have that wonderful time together talking about this Roe v. Wade.
I think we talk too much.
We talked a lot, but it's good. We will share this, and thank you so much, Krian, for your time, and thank
Oh,
you,
thanks,
Lindy.
Marivir, for inviting me.
It's not the last, okay? We will keep talking about issues that matter to us in a
I know
very
if you have no guests, you
friendly way.
invite me.
No, have fun with us.
Joking,
Thank
All
you
joking.
right.
so
It was
much.
nice talking to you both.
Thank you, Lindy, and hello, Boyet.
Thank you. Thank you, Marivir. Boyd says hello
Everyone.
too.
And I hope
Thank you,
you
Lindy.
enjoyed July
Hi,
Thank
well.
you,
Boya.
Career.
Remember, my piece is that just remember who built America, the
Ooh,
slaves and the immigrants. So, rather
Oh,
than the leaders and the architects, we all did this together. So, enjoy
okay.
your celebrations, Lindy, Korean. If ever
Career.
you're celebrating in Beijing, bye for now, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Happy
Bye.
Fourth.
Happy 4th,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. pala kami ngayon, so wala, hindi sila pupunta this week.